We've all been told the same story our whole lives. Just work hard and you'll get ahead. It's practically baked into our DNA. But what if that's only part of the picture? What if working hard, by itself, has never actually been the key to building real wealth? That's what we're going to dig into today. It's a strange paradox when you really think about it, isn't it? We all know people who are incredibly hardworking, yet they seem to be stuck in the same financial spot year after year. And then you see others who don't seem to be working nearly as hard, but their wealth just keeps growing. Now, this isn't about bashing hard work. It's a real question we need to answer.
And look, let's just get this out of the way right now, because it is so important. Hard work is absolutely essential. It builds discipline, it forges character, and it's a key ingredient for any kind of success. We are not for 1 second arguing against the value of hard work.
But here is the critical shift in perspective we need to make. Think of it like this. Hard work is the fuel, but it is not the engine. It's a totally necessary input, for sure, like the electricity you need to run a machine, but it isn't the machine itself. The actual strategy for building wealth, that's found somewhere else.
So here's the bottom line. Wealth isn't some kind of prize you get for being the most hired person in the room. It's the calculated result of building the right structures, using the right kind of leverage, and putting yourself in the right position within a system. To really get this, we first have to take apart one of the biggest misconceptions in all of personal finance. So let's start by looking at the huge difference between income and wealth.
This is where so many of us get tripped up, because we use these words almost interchangeably, but they're worlds apart. See, income is what you get paid for your direct effort. You trade an hour of your time, you get paid for an hour. The moment you stop working, the income stops. But wealth? That's something different. Wealth is what your assets earn for you. It's designed to keep growing, even when you're sleeping. It's all about ownership, not just trading your time. And this distinction, it changes everything. Because think about it, your time and your energy are finite. You can't just decide to work 25 hours in a day. But systems, assets, they can work for you 24/7. They can scale up in a way that one human being, no matter how dedicated, never could.
Okay, so if wealth is what scales, what's the actual mechanism that makes it happen? Well, this brings us to the true engine of wealth creation, something called leverage.
In the simplest terms, leverage is all about getting a much bigger result from the same amount of work. It's the very definition of working smarter, not just harder. It's the force multiplier for every bit of effort you put in. And leverage isn't just one thing, right? It comes in all these different flavors. It could be capital, that's using money to make more money through things like investments. It could be systems, building processes that run on their own. It could be people, building a team to expand your reach. And today, more than ever, it's technology, using code and software to automate and scale what you do. Heck, even where you live can be a form of leverage. Here's the thing. Without tapping into one of these forms of leverage, your personal effort is always going to hit a plateau. It's inevitable. You just run out of hours in the day. You run out of energy. You hit a very real, very hard ceiling on what you can possibly achieve on your own. So let's boil it down to this. Pure hard work scales with your personal stamina, which, as we know, runs out. But actual wealth building scales with systems, and systems can grow almost without limit. Now, knowing all this is one thing, but it actually requires a complete rewiring of how you think about work. It's about moving from a worker's mindset to what we'll call a builder's mindset. So much of our modern hustle culture celebrates being busy. A packed calendar and total exhaustion are worn like badges of honor. But being in motion is not the same as making progress. In fact, being constantly busy is often a sign that you lack leverage, not that you're on your way to building wealth. The default question that hustle culture drills into us is always about personal effort. It's always, how can I do more? How can I work longer hours? How can I push myself harder? But the person with a builder's mindset, the systems thinker, they ask a profoundly different question. Their entire goal is to figure out how to build something that creates value completely independent of their direct involvement. How does this thing keep going, even if I'm not here? And that simple shift in the question you ask yourself, from how can I work harder to how can this work without me, that's the pivot. That's the point where everything changes. It changes your daily decisions, your priorities, and eventually your entire financial future.
So if grinding harder isn't the answer, then where on earth should we be directing all of that valuable time and energy? Your effort needs a vehicle to ride in. It has to be connected to something that can grow on its own, something that has leverage built into its very nature. We're talking about things like owning an asset, like a piece of real estate, or having equity in a business. It could be creating intellectual property, investing your capital, or even just achieving a strategic position where your reputation does the heavy lifting for you. Because when your hard work isn't attached to one of those scalable things, it just produces income. And income is great. It lets you survive, it pays the bills, and you might even live pretty comfortably. But it will not, by itself, build lasting wealth.
And really, this gets to the core of everything we talk about here. Wealth isn't just about motivation or hustle. It's a strategic discipline. It's something that is built at that crossroads where smart systems, good decisions, and powerful leverage all come together.
So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. Take a hard look at your job, your career, your side projects. Is all of your incredible effort just generating an income for today? Or is it being plugged into a system that's building wealth for tomorrow? Because the answer to that question, it changes everything.